Again welcome to my channel. Now today we are discussing about the third part from the antigens. That is, today we are discussing about the properties of antigens. Now in the previous lecture we are already discussing about the types of antigens, the concept of superantigen. Now today here we are discussing about these properties of antigen. Now whenever we say that any substances which can be acts as an antigen, these substances, they must possess some specific properties, then and then only they can be acts as an antigen. Such properties of antigens, these are as follows. The first property which is to be considered, it is the degree of foreignness. Degree of foreignness. Now the degree of foreignness means whenever the substance which is to be encountered or which is to be entered within our body, it is new to our body, it is foreign. That means it is new to our body. Then and then only it can be recognized by our immune system. Now the basic reason behind this, it is whenever there is the development of our immune cells, within that either it is a T cell development or it is a B cell development. Within this development of the immune cells, preferentially there is the lysis of the self-responsive cells. Means there is the development of non-responsiveness to the self-antigens. The immune cells, these are non-responsive to the self-antigens. These are non-responsive to the self-antigens. Means during the developmental cycle of these lymphocytes, the cells which are showing the immune response towards the self-antigens. Now what are the self-antigens? As our body cells, these are having the different types of antigens on their surfaces. These are part of our body. These are acts as a part of our body. So these are considered to be the self-antigens. For that purpose, these immune cells, these are not shown any type of the immune responses against these self-antigens due to the development of the tolerance. It is also called as an self-tolerance. Self-tolerance means the self-antigens, these are not recognized by the immune cells. And due to that, whenever the substances, these are foreign to our body, that is whenever these are new to our body, these are non-self, then and then only it can act as an antigens. So as the degree of foreignness it is increases, along with that the immunogenicity power of that antigen, that is the ability to induce the immune response, it will increases along with its degree of foreignness. As the degree of foreignness it increases, the immune response or the immunogenicity power, it is also get increased along with its degree of foreignness. Means if it is from the another species, if it is antigen, it is from the another species or the different species, then it should be more foreign to our body. If the species it is related to our species, again the immune responses, these are developed at the lower level because they have somewhat similarity to the antigenic structure. And as the self-tolerance it is developed, due to that the proper immune response, these are not get developed. So for that purpose, preferentially for the antigen, whenever its degree of foreignness it is maximum, then it can be acts as a best antigen, that is it can induce at a higher rate the immune response whenever it is foreign to our body. So it is the first property for the antigen. Now the second property, it is the molecular size. Molecular size, that is the molecular weight of the substances. Now whenever the substances, these are having the high molecular weight, whenever these are possessing the high molecular weight, then it can be acts as a proper antigen. Now means those of the substances which are with the maximum molecular size, that is above the 10,000 Dalton, these are considered to be the best antigens. And if there is the molecular size, it is maximum, that is up to the 50,000 Dalton or the 60,000 Dalton. In such case, then at that time, at the molecular size it is increases, again there is increase within its immunogenicity power. Now the reason behind that, it is whenever the substances these are having the lower molecular size, that is below the 10,000 Dalton, at that time, if or these are, whenever these are having the smaller molecular size, there is no proper phagocytosis of such type of the substances. And we know that whenever there is the proper processing of antigen, then and then only they can able to induce the immune response. Then and then only they can able to induce the immune response. So these small size particles, these are not get properly processed by our immune system. Due to that, there is no proper representation of such type of the substances to the immune cells, and they are unable to induce these immune responses. For that purpose, the more sized or the large molecular size substances, these are acts as an best antigens. Now the example it is, whenever the substances these are having the smaller size, they can be considered as an heptans, that we have discussed already with the previous lecture, that is the heptans. These are only having the ability to interact with the immune cells, that is these are having only power of antigenicity, not the power of immunogenicity. They can unable to induce the immune response, but only can react with the formed immune cells. So such type of the small molecular size substances, these are considered to be the incomplete antigen. Now the next one, it is the chemical nature of the substances or the antigen. Chemical nature. Chemical nature and the structural complexity. Structural complexity. Now, whenever we are discussing about the chemical nature of the substances, whenever these can be acts as an antigen, in most of the cases, whenever these substances, these are the proteins, these are the best antigens, or these can be acts as a best antigens. Means chemically, whenever the substances, these are the proteins, these can be acts as a best antigens. Proteins. Then it is not the case that only the proteins can be acts as an antigen. No doubt the polysaccharides, then the lipids, carbohydrates, these can be also acts as nucleic acid, these can be also acts as an antigens, but these are the poor antigenic in nature. Their antigenicity power or their immunogenicity power, it is poor as compared to that of the proteins. Now again, as the structural complexity it is get increased, we know that within the protein molecules, the structural complexity it is present. There may be the primary structure of the protein, secondary, tertiary. As the structure it is get complicated, preferentially the chemical bonds, these are get increased within that, and these are having the structural complexity. So these large molecular size or the globular proteins, which are having the tertiary and the quaternary structures, these are having the larger size, these are particulate in nature. As these are particulate in nature, such type of the substances, these are easily get phagocytosed by the macrophage cells, means there is a proper processing of such type of the substances, and due to that there is the increased immunogenicity power of such type of the substances. For that purpose, chemically, whenever the substances, these are proteins, these are acts as an best antigen, but the polysaccharides, lipids, nucleic acid, these are also antigenic in nature, or these are able to induce the immune responses. Now the next property, it is in the proteins also, whenever there is the presence of an aromatic amino acid within the protein molecules, these are acts as an best antigens. Means again the presence of aromatic amino acid, it is responsible for stimulating the immunogenicity and antigenicity power of the protein molecules. The next one, it is the route of administration and doses. Route of administration and doses. Now the route of administration, it means the route through which these are entered within our body. Now there are the different routes through which there is the entry of these foreign particles within our body, through our skin, through the intravenous, within the intravenous injection, like these, the subcutaneous, subepidermal, in different ways there is the entry of these foreign substances within our body. that is the intravenous, intradermal, subcutaneous, subcutaneous. These are the different routes, or the oral route. These are the different routes through which the foreign particles, these are entered within our body. Intravenous, it is within the directly into the veins. The intradermal, it is beneath the skin, and the subcutaneous, it is within the skin, within the skin. Likewise, these are the different routes of these substances within our body. Whenever there is the subcutaneous entry of the substances within our body, these are directly transferred to the local lymph nodes which are present within our body. That is, the lymph nodes which are act as a secondary lymph organ within our body, within which there is the presence of both B and T lymphocytes, and there is the proper representation of these substances towards this B and T lymphocyte, and at the higher rate there is the development of the immune response. Within the intravenous also these are introduced to the spleen. At that site also there is the presence of B and T lymphocytic cells. So whenever the subcutaneous or the intravenous introduction of these substances, there is at the maximum level there is the development of immune response. Now whenever orally or through the direct gastric tract there is the entry of the foreign particles within our body, through that preferentially we know that whenever there is the direct transfer of the antigens within the stomach there is the highly acidic condition, these are present, and at which there may be the destruction of the structure of these antigens. So there is no proper representation or development of the immune responses. For that purpose, preferentially whenever there is intravenous or the subcutaneous introduction of these substances to our body, there is the proper representation of these substances towards the immune cells, and there is the proper development or induction of the immune responses. Now the last property of these, it is again here the route of administration, the doses, that is the amount of the substances which is introduced. If it is not present in the proper amount, if it in very much lower amount, if there is the introduction of the substances, these are not sufficient for inducing the immune response. For that purpose, the proper amount of these substances or the foreign particles, these are essential for the development of the immune responses. The last one, it is the genetic constitution of organism. Genetic constitution. Now, no doubt, it may be possible that the antigenic substances which are entered within our body, these are having the large molecular size, also their degree of foreignness, it is also more, their structural complexity, it is also present, they are properly administered in well amount within our body. But again, for development of these immune responses or the induction of immune responses and proper antigenicity, again it is essential that the organism within which there is the entry of these substances, within that the immune system, it is properly developed. Means here the genetic constitution means, it means the immune system of that organisms within which there is the administration of that antigen. Within which there is administration of that and antigens, it is also important. If the person within which we are transferring this antigen, it is not the immune system of that organism, it is not properly developed, or it is immunodeficient. If it is immunodeficient, immunodeficient, it means his immune system, it is not properly developed, or its immune system, it is not fully developed. His body, it is not responding properly towards the foreign particles. For example, there may be some of the genetic disorders which are related with the immune system. If we are considering the DiGeorge syndrome, we know that within the DiGeorge syndrome there is the absence of thymus. The thymus, it is the most important primary lymphoid organ, and which is the site for the development of the T lymphocytic cells. If there is the absence of thymus, it means there is the absence of the T lymphocytic cells, means there is absence of cell mediated immune response. In such cases, if suppose all of the properties within the antigens, these are present, but as the person within which there is the introduction of these antigens, there is no development of the proper immune response. So again, for this, the genetic constitution of the organism, it is also responsible for the immunogenicity and antigenicity power of antigens. So these are the different characteristics of the antigens. So if you like this video, please subscribe the channel and also share this video with your friends. Thank you.